I'm Bruce Gordon, author of the book The Spirit of Attack. In 1959, I was a young fighter pilot assigned to the 498th Fighter Interceptor Squadron at Geiger Field, Spokane, Washington. One of my additional duties was to be airdrome officer. I would meet all incoming visiting aircraft and make sure that the pilot and crews had transportation, food, lodging, and generally make them comfortable and welcome to Geiger. I would also go out and check the guards. I would take a staff car, drive out to the guard post. The guard would challenge me to halt and be recognized. I would stop the staff car, get out, step forward, lay down my identification card on the ground, step back 10 feet. He would pick up the card, recognize the picture on it, say I was recognized as the airdrome officer, give me a nice snappy salute, and I would proceed on to the next guard. I was told to be cautious around these guards because they were young, inexperienced, nervous, and had a reputation for being trigger happy. On one occasion, the airdrome officer had driven out. It was a snowstorm, and he couldn't find the guard. He drove around in the snow looking for the guard for a while and gave up and drove on to the next guard post, where the guard cautioned him, stopped him. He got out, recognized himself, and then he asked the second guard where the first guard had been. And the second guard said, "Well, didn't you hear him shooting at you?" Sure enough, he had 2 bullet holes in his staff car. Shortly thereafter, we had our own incident at Geiger. We had an alert hangar, and in the alert hangar, we had nuclear-armed fighters. And in the middle of the night, the airdrome officer drove out to check on the status of the guards. He drove to the guard post and couldn't find the guard. He looked around for a while and still couldn't find the guard. It wasn't snowing or anything. He should be able to find the guard. So he called on his radio to the sergeant of the guard, and the sergeant of the guard came out, and the sergeant of the guard called the base commander, and we pretty soon had a small group of about 5 or 6 guys standing out there in front of the alert hangar in the middle of the floodlights coming from the alert hangar, lighting up the whole area in bright light. They were talking there and wondering what could have happened to the guard when suddenly they heard a voice. "Don't nobody move. Don't nobody move." That guard was on top of the roof of the alert hangar, hiding behind the floodlights, and he had them all covered with his rifle. They had to talk him out of that, and that was our example of be careful of boys with guns. A more serious incident occurred at Keflavik Air Base in Iceland. Nuclear-armed B-52s were lined up on the ramp. A fuel truck drove in to give fuel to the B-52s, but did not stop when challenged by the guard. The guard opened fire on the fuel truck as it drove down the line of B-52s, hitting the fuel truck several times, but not setting it on fire. Apparently, he didn't hit the B-52s either. But that's another warning. Always beware of boys with guns.